All right, just getting this link in the Twitter here. And then we will get going. All right, we got a couple people here so far. Ryan fucking Harmon, seriously. What's up, Mike? Brian fucking Harmon. One thing that worries me about Harmon is I don't know if there's anyone out there that actually thinks he's winning. Even people who are on him this week, I don't know if they think he's winning, which is a little bit concerning. But the fact that a guy has a 5-stroke lead and he's still plus money to win the tournament with 2 rounds to go is pretty telling. I start by saying I don't think he's going to win. Life is too short to bet Harmon at any number. At any number. I don't think Harmon's going to win, which to me creates a really good live betting opportunity in a bunch of different ways, whether it's winning, top 5, top 10, whatever. But they bring price like they're 10 shots back, a lot of these guys, besides Rory. When in reality, they're not 10 shots back, unless you think Harmon is winning, which I don't. So, the Eagle put an 18 with confidence. That was crazy. Yeah. Harmon is he's playing great. But let us present some stats here. Okay, because what Harmon is doing can only go on for so long. And then I'll get into the bets and why we're betting them. So, Harmon, first place. Got a 5-shot lead. He was 600 today. One, I don't like guys coming off a low round. Never mind the way he did it. So this is per round here. So he's gaining 8.4 strokes putting, 2.8 around the green. The approach is okay. He's getting 1 stroke on approach. 1 stroke, and he's 10 under. He's getting 2.5 off the tee. So he's not missing fairways because he's not long. So that's how he's getting it done. Ball striking, 3.5. Again, 8.4 strokes putting, 2.8 around the green. 8.4 plus 2.8. What's that? 11.2 strokes short game, which again is not sustainable. Can Homa? Yeah, Homa's hitting it pretty good. Might need to triple the cayenne pepper shots. I agree with that. I got to do that soon. Straka, no. Scotty, here's the thing with the guys who just made the cut. Like, I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility that one of those guys can win. We've seen this happen in the past. Where a guy, like, say if they shoot 6 under and then they get to -3 and then Harmon shoots 4 over or 5 over, which those rounds are out there. Then they're 2 or 3 back going into the final round. So anybody who's +3, like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. The question is identifying the guy who can actually do that. But it's definitely doable. Sprinkle anymore on Hovland +50. Yeah, I did multiple times. I did. I may call me crazy, but I still think he has a chance. So he has a chance to win. I think, people are acting like he needs these guys that even or -1 need to shoot a 64 or 65 to get in the tournament. They really don't. They don't. They don't have to do anything crazy. It's going to be carnage this weekend. The conditions this weekend are going to be worse than they were today and yesterday. Now, looking at the pin locations, they seem to be a little bit easier tomorrow. Most likely because of the weather. That pin on 17 is tucked in the right, though, which will make it a little bit tough. Winning score, -5, -6. Yeah, I think the winning score is going to be -5 or -6. So, again, that under -16 bet we made, pre-tournament. Love that. So Hovland, I love what he's doing. Stenson, I think, has a great shot, honestly. I know it's crazy. The 400 to 1 that I bet pre-term, but you get the top 20, top 10, top 5. I think he's in the mix here. And looking at the stats, let's see. Looking at the stats here, he is. I'll get to him in a sec, but of the top guys, I mean, look at the biggest progression candidates are Harman. Tommy's hitting it decently. Min Woo is a guy I really want to target. He's gaining 4.4 putting, 4 around the green. He's losing strokes on approach, and he's basically field average off the tee. So he's losing strokes. He's losing strokes ball striking. He's the only player in the top out of the top 22 guys that's losing strokes ball striking, and he's 3 under. So I know a lot of people like Min Woo out there. I know people are rooting for him and have some outright tickets on him. So again, but I think he's a really good candidate to go against tomorrow. That I'm going to look to do that. Jason Day outright pre-tournament or right now? Pre-tournament, he has a chance. Right now, I don't think there's any value in that bet whatsoever. Taking the +3 guys for low round 3. I like that. I was looking at Ricky for that. The odd when I looked at first, the odds hadn't been posted yet. I don't know if they are now, but I think Spieth. I don't know. I don't know if I can see Spieth winning. He's hitting it pretty good, but he just makes these mistakes that he shouldn't be making. Like I feel like he should be 5 under right now. He still hasn't made a crazy amount of putts. He's putting 1.4 in 2 rounds. He's putting okay, but yeah, I mean, Spieth can win. Spieth can definitely. He's one of the guys who can win. But Harman, I don't think is. Fleetwood. The thing is, I wanted to fade both those guys tomorrow, but they're going against each other, so I don't think I can do that unless you want to bet an over. I mean, that over on Harman, what's it going to be? 72.5. I didn't even look right now. Need someone to bet right now. Okay, someone to bet right now. Hovland. I think value-wise, Hovland's the best play on the board. He's even. He's 50 to 1. It's not because I have him or because I bet him again at that number. That's the guy who I think has the most value at this time. He's even. He's hitting the ball well. He's 4.4 strokes ball striking, which is solid, and I still think he can do a little bit better. He's losing a little bit putting. I think he can turn that around. Yeah, Hovland's the guy I think live. Hideki doesn't seem bad either. He's hitting it all right, gaining a little bit putting too much, but I mean he's like 80 to 1, which I think is a little too high. But Hovland's definitely the best live play in my opinion right now. That's what I got for that. Let's see. Straka went nuts on the back 9 today. Crazy how he's playing. Sharma, oof. But I did see a line Sharma against Day. Sharma is plus 210 against Day, which I'm not saying Sharma's going to play well, but that just seems like a lot for a guy like Day who hasn't made a bogey in a while, and I feel like he could definitely blow up. So looking at the lines right here, starting with the matchups. Do we have any round scores for Harman yet? Because I think that'll probably move towards the over pretty quickly once it's out. Clark. Just scrolling to see if I can find that. Yeah, Harman over 72.5. So what's that? 2 over? I mean that's a lock, isn't it? Harman over 72.5. I think it should be over 74.5. Yeah, that's bet number 1 today. Harman over 72.5. I'm betting that right now. Locking it in. I mean, if he goes under, the tournament's over. Unless Tommy goes under and it's a 2-man race on Sunday, but I don't see that happening. I think a lot of guys are going to get in the mix here. Eagle on 18, boost confidence. To go back-to-back, I don't know, but I think he's going to have a nice one tomorrow. Cam, I definitely like Cam. Tomorrow for I don't know who he has in the matchup. I haven't seen it posted. But low round of the day, I was looking at him, Ricky, and Cantlay were the three guys I was thinking about for a low round of the day. But I haven't seen those odds up yet. I don't know if anyone in the comments has seen that yet. But that was a great eagle on 18. Holy shit. So matchups, there's a couple that I really like, and a lot of them are underdogs. So starting at the top, I'm going on DK here. Starting at the top, we got Scott plus 210 over Scotty. Okay, I know you might not want to fade Scotty, but I don't know if he really has it all that much this week. The stats are okay, but they're definitely not Scotty level. He's had some bad swings, and even the one on 18, he got lucky. Do I think Scott's necessarily going to kill him? I don't know, or beat him, but I think 210 is insane for a head-to-head matchup, and they're both going off early. Like I don't know why he would be plus 210. Just because Scotty's Scotty. That's the reason why he's plus 210. Second matchup on the board, Scott plus 210 over Scotty. I'm taking that. You know what's on approach in round 2? Looking here, just round 2 on approach. Where's Scott right here? Almost 2 strokes on approach in 1 round. See what Scheffler did. Scheffler is, I don't know where he is. I can't even find him. Scheffler, yeah, pretty low on the list here for approach in round 2. Off the tee, Scott has been bad off the tee in the first 2 rounds, but round 2, he was much better. Only lost 0.3 off the tee, which I think he's starting to rein it in a little bit. So I just think 210 for a matchup like that. I would risk half as much as you usually risk on a minus 110. So if you win, whatever your unit is. But if you lose, you only lose half. I just think the number's too big. Got to bet something on that. And real quick, before we continue here with the matchups, Rory minus 150 top 10 is free money. Right? I agree with that, Connor. If we think 5-6 wins, anyone plus 1 or better is in it. Absolutely. No doubt about that. And I think outright wise, you can go down. I mean, are the plus 3 guys likely to win? No. But I think if they're 200 to 1, they're not completely out of it. It's worth sprinkling a couple of those guys around. Stenson was low live round. That's right. I think he was like 18 to 1 for that. Bogey free. I wish I bet that on Stenson too, especially with how high I've been on him. But okay, so the official plays here we got. So far, we have Harman over 72.5 minus 120. We have Scott. I usually don't say units, but it just makes sense to do it this way. Half a unit at plus 210 over Scotty. Cantor's matchup. Yeah, Cantor's striking it really well. Cantor has, who does he have? Bland. He's an underdog to Bland. He's minus 105. Bland's minus 110. My worry with that is Cantor's been really bad lately on live, and I don't know if it's just a fluke that he's played this well these first 2 rounds. Cam Young winning 3M. Yeah, probably. Let's see. I also like Louis over Reed. Now, Louis not hitting it well, but Reed isn't either. Louis is an underdog in this matchup. Louis is minus 105. Reed is minus 1. Oh, sorry. Louis plus 105. Reed is minus 125. Louis isn't. Neither guy is hitting it well with their irons. Reed is good off the tee, but I think that's going to regress tomorrow. And it's going to be a little wet tomorrow. I think the guys who find the most fairways are going to have the most success tomorrow's round. I don't think you can play from the rough when it's going to be wet tomorrow. And Reed's been good off the tee, but I think that regresses a bit. Like I can't see him doing that. I think Data Golf added something fairways. Let me see real quick. Fairway driving stats accuracy. I want to look at that real quick. Who's the most accurate off the tee so far? Okay, driving accuracy. I'm going to sort by that. Bland is number 1. So yeah, I don't know if I'd go with Cantor over Bland. Homa is number 2, which is crazy. So Homa is definitely a guy who could make a run, and I don't like Homa, but you guys know that. But yeah. All right, so Stenson. Here's why I think Stenson can win the event, and why I'm taking his matchup too. Stenson is 5th in the field in fairways hit, and he's 3rd for the. So let me go by event. He's 3rd in the. Let me redo that because that was by just round 2. I got to change to the event. So Stenson, I mean, I tracked him today. He was hitting every single fairway, and it wasn't as short as you would think either. So yeah, he's up there. He's one top 12 in fairways hit, and then approach for the week. Young is first, playing well. Otegi second. Stenson is third. Okay, so Stenson, he's losing strokes off the tee despite being in every fairway, but I think that's completely fine because he's not hitting it that far. So the fact that I think he's live to win, honestly, I do. He's still 110 to 1 if you haven't got on the 400 pre-tournament. And I think he's still like a decent price for a top 5 or top 10 too. But he's 3rd in the field in approach for the week. Wow, look at Phil, 4th in approach for the week. Just putting horribly. Thunder Bear, 5th. I know I was on him yesterday, and I know that didn't end up looking good being the low round of the day, but he's 5th in approach for the entire week. Just couldn't hit many fairways, and putted horribly. Thiem also, he's plus 125 against Norn, which I think is a pretty good price for a guy who's hitting that well, and Norn is all putting. Harman bogey free round 2, 25 to 1. You hit that? Hell yeah, nice hit. Still like Scott with driving actually important. I mean, he was much better in round 2 than round 1. So I'd like to think that he's kind of figuring out a little bit. And Scheffler wasn't accurate either off the tee. Let's see who's been more accurate off the tee between those two guys. Where am I? Right here. All right, driving accuracy. This is for the event. Let's find Scheffler. Scheffler is 60.7. Scott can't be very good, but Scott almost dead last, 32. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely concerning for sure. But I just think plus 210 is still okay. I definitely wouldn't be betting him at even money or minus for any matchup. Okay, so Louis over Reed, plus 105. That's going to be the second one. I'm going to put that in right now. Louis over Reed. And I'm not going crazy on these. It's just something to sweat while we're watching. And it's a good way to put the whole tournament in context in between the rounds. I think it's just kind of fun to break it down that way. So Louis plus 105. So we get Harman 72, Scott, Louis. All right, and then I'm gonna go Stenson over Wyndham Clark. That's plus 155. Let's see. Plus 155 is insane. He's playing better than Clark is right now. And I know Clark's everybody loves Wyndham Clark right now, but he was kind of getting a little wild too. Let's see what he's doing for driving accuracy. 46%. Not good. Approach is pretty good, nothing special. He's hitting it pretty far, but yeah, I think Stenson, Clark might run out of some steam here. He's been playing really well, but I like Stenson plus 155 over Clark. So all underdogs so far, 3 underdogs. And then I'm waiting for a boost here, but I think if you go Rory, like they've been giving us that, DK's been giving us that 18% boost every day. Rory top 10 minus 150. Like if I don't get the boost, I'm going to play it anyway. I'm making that an official play too. Rory top 10 minus 150. Just a little bit. I just don't see a world where he doesn't come in the top 10. And I still think he's the most likely player outside of Fleetwood, I guess, because Fleetwood has that cushion to win. And I'm not a Rory fan, but I just think that they're not giving us the number. There's a reason why he's 10 to 1 and he's 9 shots back. It's because he's the guy they don't want to give a number on because he's the most, and again, people are going to bet it. That's why too. But it's also because I just think he probably will. Yeah, I think Windy's going to implode. I do think that. I think plus 155 on Stenson, and maybe Stenson and I might eat my words here. It's possible, but Stenson is steady enough fairways and greens, and that's the reason coming into the week why I was so high on him. And even last week, I picked Stenson 2 weeks ago for this tournament because I saw what he was doing on Live. He was in London, third in greens and reg, second in fairways hit. I knew that was going to be the recipe this week. He's not long off the tee. He's not a great putter, but he's not blowing up or making any huge mistakes. He's keeping the ball in play, keeping the ball in front of him. And so far, he's not doing anything spectacular. He's in the top 11 or top 12 because he's doing that. Rahm. Who's Rahm got? Let's see. I'm gonna pass first, just while I go through it. I'm gonna pass on Seam over Norn, even though I really like it. So many underdogs. I can only take the ones that I really want. I can't find Rahm on DraftKings. Do you have it over there? Yeah, I don't see Rahm on that. Ricky, a guy to tail tomorrow. Yeah, I think Ricky's gonna have a good round tomorrow. I was thinking about him over Bob Mack. I just think Mack might be running out of steam a bit. Let's see what both those guys are doing off the tee. Fowler, 68% of his fairways. He's hitting it great off the tee. His irons are just bad this week. +2 today. Let's see what Bob Mack. Mack barely got through the cut here. He's hitting 50% of his fairways. So Ricky's hitting way more fairways. Yeah, what's Ricky doing putting actually? Because he should be due to make some putts. I don't think he's making many, but yeah, I guess he is. I do like Ricky over Mack. I thought it was gonna be -125, but -150 is a little tougher to do. How funny with Bob Mack. Yeah, definitely a good bad weather player, but so is Ricky. Ricky's a great win player. Oh, the other one I liked, Cantlay, -105 over Brooks. Like, I don't think Brooks is the type of guy to go out there and go low on a Saturday when he's +2. I think he's the type of guy who, when he's in the lead, he doesn't make mistakes. But chasing, I don't think right now, 2023, Brooks chasing is a guy who's going to be great. So, and I like Cantlay tomorrow. I think Cantlay is a real low one. Isn't that a perfect Cantlay thing? He sucks Thursday, Friday. He shoots -5 tomorrow, and he ends up finishing in the top 15. That's exactly what Cantlay's going to do. So that's efficient play. Cantlay -105 over Brooks. I just think Brooks is not a chaser. Doesn't like playing from behind. Cantlay is a guy who likes playing from behind. Nothing to lose. I wish they weren't playing together. But is what it is. Cantlay -105. How is Vic in the wind? Let's see. I can look that up right now. Looks like more rain. Yeah, more rain than wind. So I think that's why fairways are the most important thing rather than who's in the wind. I am interested to actually see who's hitting more fairways. Is Brooks hitting a lot of fairways? I think he is. From the bit that I've watched of him, he's 50% on driving accuracy, and Cantlay is 60. So yeah, I like that a little bit too. Cantlay a little as a slight dog to Brooks tomorrow, I think is a good play. Showdown DraftKings, I'll pull that up. So I like Ricky. I like Cantlay. So now I like Stenson. Now let's look at some guys who are hitting it really well, ball striking, that haven't really done as much scoring as they should have so far. Cam Young, I mean, he's crushing ball striking. Otegi is doing good in second. Blandy, Homa, Cantor, Seam, I think, cheap-wise. You got to put a cheap guy in there. He's hitting it really well. 3 strokes, ball strike, 6 strokes on ball striking through 2 rounds. I think Seam is a good showdown play at his price. And Rory, I think Rory gets involved tomorrow. I know it's not really going out on a limb, but I just can't see a scenario where he's not involved going into tomorrow. Going into Sunday, he'll be involved. Answer hit it really well today. He's cheap too, so Answer could be a guy you could squeeze in there at a lower price. Hovland's expensive on Showdown. Like, I'd rather play Rory than Hovland, as much as I like Hovland. I don't think he has a better chance than Rory. Pure Carmen. Yeah, so that's kind of the limit there of where you would go. I want guys who, for Showdown, who are hitting it really well from tee to green, gaining strokes, ball striking, but haven't really scored the way they should score yet. Stu Sink hitting it really well. Former champ, Turnberry, which should be on the Rota, by the way. Anything on Tom Kim? Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, what does he do today, Tom Kim? We forgot about Tom. He's been okay statistically, but yeah, I saw the thing with the wrist injury. But if he had it before today's round, how do you shoot -3? But I agree that water should find its level. And is DK even gonna? If they know that, are they even putting anything out there for his price? Let's see. Do I see anything? I like Vic Perez over Ryan Fox too, +105. He's hitting it way better. I don't want to have too many plays, but there's a lot of stuff that I like tomorrow. I can't find a Kim matchup on DraftKings. Still looking. No, I can't find one. Cannot find one. But who did I just say? Vic Perez. I'm going to avoid it, but I do like that one. If you're looking to add more, looking to parlay all these things together or something like that, I like Vic Perez over Fox. Fox seemed to got pretty lucky today. Any other top 5s or 10s? All right, let's look at that real quick. Tournament lines. Okay. So Rory top 10 -150. I just think that's free cash. He has Bjork. Yeah. I mean, Bjork could easily shoot +7 tomorrow. So I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it. Minwoo. Oh yeah, I need to go into Minwoo. Who's Minwoo got tomorrow? Gotta do a bet against Minwoo. Hate to say it because I know a lot of you guys love him and I like him too. He's a cool dude, but he's like so Luxac ranking so far. He's even above Harman in Luxac rankings for the week. Any more top 5s? Stenson 12-1 top 5 is all right. I mean, I don't like it because I got better pre-tournament. Cam 12-1 top 5 isn't bad at all. Becky -110 over Minwoo. Yes, absolutely. I love that. What site is that on? Also, I hope a lot of people are in here just to get a feel for the round and kind of how things are breaking down. Check out the stats everybody's playing, figure it out. Like, you don't have to bet every single thing that I'm betting. Bet 365. Okay. Yeah, I would do that if I had that site. I'll have a minimum matchup on one of my books. One thing too is a lot of books that I use don't have the matchups like in the pairings. They try to match the guys similarly, and they don't have them like the way DraftKings does. Bryson top 5, 25-1. I don't mind that either. Top 10, 8-1, and he's +2. I mean, what did he do today, Bryson? He's not great on approach, not great off the tee. Gaining a lot around the green. I mean, stats wise, he's only hitting 32% of fairways. Yeah, a little bit dicey there. But any of these guys who made the cut, like, the question is which one's going to get in the top 5. I think anyone who made the cut can finish in the top 5 with only how many guys are under par? Not many. Like, I think it's not going to take some heroic effort to get in the top 5 if you just made the cut. Any of those guys can. I'm not going to do Bryson just because I think he's missing too many fairways. But yeah, maybe I'll post them. What I have, maybe I'll post them. But getting people to watch the replay is good. Also, anyone here, if you guys are watching this, subscribe to the channel because that helps me more than anything. Just watching the videos is great, but for YouTube, you need to get subscribers, and the views I get every week are like 3 times the amount of subscribers they have. So if you guys all just subscribed, it'd be easier to make money and I would be able to do this more often. So just subscribe. Don't just watch. Subscribe. The Smythe hole-in-one was great. I talked to him after the round today, and he was obviously excited about it and he was happy about the hole-in-one because you can walk away from the tournament remembering something great for his first ever major. But he said he thinks the nerves got to him on Thursday, but first ever major, which is understandable. But he started off like +4 through 3 holes, and he ended up finishing the tournament at +8. So I think he did a good job. Definitely, he's the absolute fucking man. He is the absolute man. Hole-in-one was sick. All right. So, recap. I think Harman is not going to win. If Harman wins the Open this year, I mean, that would just be such a shitty Open. And no offense to Harman, but nobody wants to see that. Let's get things interesting. I think Rory top 10 -150 is a lock. If I get that 18% boost, I'm definitely going to use it. But if not, I'm playing it anyway. So that's an official play. Rory top 10 -150. Any Woodland love? Let's see. What's Woodland doing? Irons are not great. He's pretty good off the tee. I just don't trust the guy at all. Like, I think he's a good high upside play if you want to do like a top 5. What is he, top 5? Woodland, or top 10. Where is he? He's all the way down here. Yeah, he's 14-1 for a top 10. I think that's a pretty good play if you want to do that. Because he's like a boom or bust. But I also could see him shooting +8 tomorrow because I just don't trust him. Every time I go to him, he completely screws me. And he's a roller coaster. But that makes him a good high upside top 10 at that crazy of a number. Like the top 10s on these guys who just made the cut are high because they're viewing it as how far are they away from the lead. How would you go big on Fleetwood 2-ball against Harman? I wouldn't. I'm not high on either of them tomorrow. I think they both are going to struggle. Right? Fleetwood's going to have the crowd behind him. That's why I prefer going over 72.5 because Straka +125 or day 105 over minimum. I would I prefer day. Just because Straka went low today, and I don't trust him as much. I don't trust either of them, but I just think you got to go against Minwoo. Yeah, I'd go day over Minwoo. Yeah. Looking at these other top 10s, I mean, there's some big numbers out there for top 10s. Adam Scott's 14-1 for a top 10. I don't love him because of accuracy, but he could catch fire tomorrow. Off the tee was better today. Seam hitting the ball great, 12-1 for a top 10. Because again, they're pricing these guys as if they're 15 shots back. But if Harman struggles tomorrow, they're 8 shots back. So again, I just think a lot of these guys, like, the numbers are not indicative of the actual chances. I think all these top 5 and top 10 odds are strong. So I mean, but again, you have to identify who it is. So I think Ricky a top 10, 850 is pretty good. Cantley a top 10, 750 is pretty good. All you need is 166, 65, and these guys can come in the top 10 easily. All right. So yeah, Seabass hasn't been bad. He has not. But I mean, and a lot of guys are going to fall out, right? If Sharma, I mean, is going to fall out of the top 5. Otegi probably is. Nikolai, can't trust him. Tom might be injured. If all those guys have a bad round, Grillo's not staying in the top 5. Like, there's room for other guys to move up and move in front of them. So, again, I think this is kind of a unique opportunity with in-round stuff in this tournament just because there's a guy with a 5-shot lead. And then you got Tommy up there too. I think Tommy could win the thing. Has there ever been any better spot in the history of Tommy Fleetwood than right now that he's in right now. Like, if he's going to win a major, this has to be the one. It's a course that he knows. He's not. I like him better at -5 than I do if he had a 5-shot lead. So he has the luxury of being far ahead of a lot of players, but he's not. Doesn't have that added pressure of being at a 5-shot lead. So he's like right in that sweet spot. This is a spot. If you're Tommy Fleetwood and you want to win a major, this is the one. This is absolutely the one, and I think he could do it. But if I had to rank 1 through 4 chances to win this event, number 1 right now is Tommy because of where he is, playing well on the leaderboard. Second is Rory. Third is Hovland for me, and fourth is Harman. That's 1 through 4, and who has the best chance to win the tournament. And I think one of those 4 is your winner. And then after that, I'll go Homa 5, Young 6, because the way they're hitting the ball. So I think it's one of those 6, but mostly one of the top 4. Am I still happy with Hovland at 45 to 1? Yeah. I bet it again at 45 to 1. I bet it so many fucking times. If he wins, you might never hear from me again. I might be dead. Or Stenson. If Stenson or Hovland wins, I'm going to win a lot of money. A very lot. So hopefully it's one of those 2 guys. Man, I hope it's Stenson, but it's nice to have the top 20, top 10, and top 5 covering me, and top Swede, which right now, I know some of you guys took that too, the top Swede. Noren, who's all putting right now. Bjorn, who's most likely going to fuck off. And Lingmer. Did Lingmer make the cut? I think he might be +2 or 3. So, yeah, he did. So all those guys made the cut, unfortunately. Bovada running crime, 40 to 1. I know, Hovland, not right. I see 45s, 50s, 45s. But value-wise, I'm not saying this because I'm on him. If I was not on him, I think Hovland 45 to 1 is the best bet on the board. Because are these other guys live? Yeah, it is. Sepp Stenson, top 20 looking strong. Are these other guys live because of the way the tournament right now is set up and structured, and how there's Connors out there and how there's so many big shot lead between the top guys? Yeah, there's enormous value outside of Harman. Absolutely right. That's exactly how I feel. And that's kind of the reason why I ended up doing the show, because I just think, looking at the board, I mean, everyone else is being priced as if they're a million shots back, because they are. But if one guy slips up, and the odds are telling you that he is likely to slip up, then all of a sudden, all those guys' numbers are double what they should be. Yeah, the bunker, that shit was bullshit, the bunker thing. Like, because Rory probably cried about it, and that's probably why they did it. But they caved to player pressure. But I was happy to see that when the balls went in the bunker a certain way, they still gave the guys some difficult lies and difficult angles. And I also like that the fairway bunkers are, doesn't matter how you rake them. You go in one of those pop bunkers in the fairway, that's a 60-degree out every single time, for the most part, unless you get a real lucky break. So they are penal, and they're still less easy up and downs than you would see at most courses. Like, the shitty thing about PGA Tour courses these days, you miss a green and go into a bunker. That's easier than going in the rough. These guys are way too good out of the bunkers, and the way they rake them makes it too easy too. Yeah, greenside bunkers were easier. Fairway still penal. I agree with that. I'd like to see. I don't know. They set up the pins pretty easy tomorrow, from what I'm viewing. Besides 17, I think it's tough. But you saw, yeah, 18. I mean, Scotty was relatively short-sighted. So was Ricky on 18. He had to get up and down to make the cut. And I thought that even that short-sighted one was pretty easy with the way they raked the bunkers. So, yeah. But I think Vic, even the guys you really want to look to winning, is even a -1 or better. And some of these guys are not winning. Like, I'll tell you, Minwoo's not winning. I don't think Day is winning. I don't think Clark is winning. I don't think Homa is winning. I don't think Grillo is winning. So take all those guys out. How many guys can win? There's not that, I mean, with good value. That's why I think Vic is the best bet on the board. He's even, but he also has a good price left. Like, Rory's -1, but he's fucking 10 to 1 for whatever reason, because they don't want to give you a number on him. Because his name's Rory, which makes sense. So that's where we're going. Recap of the bets that I literally just placed while we are talking here. Made a bunch of them. I did not bet the Roy top 10 minus 150 yet. I will if I get that boost, and I will anyway, but I'm just going to see if I get the boost first. Some rando European you've never heard of is not going to win. They could finish strong, but they're not going to win. Like Thirsty Lawrence, whatever, Laurie Cantor. I know those are guys who could play well, but they're not going to win. There is a European who could win. He's 47 years old. And it wouldn't be his first time winning an Open. So Roy top 10, the matchups the things that I actually bet: Harman 72.5, minus 120, check. Scott plus 210 over Scheffler. That's half a bet on that, plus 210. Just think it's possible. I just think I think the number's wrong, so I'm going to bet it. Bet. Louis plus 105 over Reed. Another good value there. And Stenson plus 155 over Clark. Bet. And the last one is Cantlay minus 105 over Brooks. I like Cantlay chasing from behind. I don't like Brooks chasing from behind. And that's the reason why. So cash out the Minwoo ticket. Cash out? It depends. I mean, I don't think cash out is ever the best idea because it's like taking something to a pawn shop. Like, you're not getting the value of what that ticket is actually worth. Like, they don't calculate it based on what it's worth. They calculate it based on what it's worth, and then they take some profit from it. So I think it's like taking to a pawn shop. So that's why I typically don't advise cashing out. I don't think it's a great idea. I don't think Minwoo is winning. He's really not hitting the ball well at all. It'd be pretty shocking to see a guy with his stats win the Open, but it doesn't mean he can't turn around over the weekend. I mean, especially with his pre-tournament odds, if he's 80, 90 to 1 and you bet 10, 20 bucks on it, this is what I would say. If that money would make a difference to you, the cash out money, in terms of your financial situation, paying the bills this week, I would cash it out because I don't think he's winning. But if you bet for fun and you're playing for fun and, it's not going to make a difference one way or the other, just let it ride. It's not worth the regret you would get if he actually won because anything's possible. And you don't want to be, looking at that and saying it was the biggest mistake you ever fucking made. So I would probably say no, unless that money means something to you. So those are the bets. Hopefully we do pretty good today. Tomorrow, little anxiety with this one because these guys most of these matchups are early. Besides the Harman over 72.5 and the Stenson over Clark. But I don't love waking up, and I'm going to try to wake up early. But if you wake up at 5, 6 a.m., these things are going to be half over. So we'll see. Hopefully get some matchup winners. But more importantly, because again, I'm betting these compared to what I bet for outrights, these matchups I bet small. These are just something to entertain me as we go. Right. So just you guys put it in relative, just put it in terms, just so you understand how much I'm betting on these. My outrights are to win 20,000 per outright. Sometimes a little more. Like Stenson would be more just because he was 400 to 1 and I just fucking pounded it. And I'm putting like $300, $400 on each of these matchups. So relatively speaking, I'm not like, if I lose these matchups, my week is not going to be ruined. So yours shouldn't be either. More importantly, let's get Hovland in the mix. At least give us something into Sunday where he's a couple shots back. Let's get Stenson in the mix. And if he wins, that would be a big one for me. And then, but either way, let's keep him in position to get that top 20, top 10, top 5. And who knows? Maybe Cantlay or Scott goes crazy tomorrow. Somebody who's plus 2 right now is gonna go nuts tomorrow and be in the top 5 going into tomorrow. Somebody will. I just don't know who it's going to be. Henny Duplessis. Henrik. I thought I meant Henny Duplessis, the South African. So, you got it, Ray. Appreciate it. Again, I'm doing this for fun, build some anticipation for the final round, and then also Henny Stenson. Yep. Then also to give us something to sweat while we wait for those late tee times. Those are some long rounds. We got to do something. We got to while we're shot tracking. And by the way, the shot tracking experience. What a miserable experience shot tracking on this fucking event. Oh my goodness. Like it takes an act of God for me to find out what's going on in the course. And speaking of the coverage too, and like I have no clue what's going on with 75% of the people who are in the mix here. Hopefully the weekend coverage they do a better job, but I have no fucking idea what's going on at any point of during the day. I have no clue what's going on. So yeah, we get something to shot track on the side. I wish they just had normal shot. Why can't I just click the guy's name and you get a drop screen and I see 25 yards to green, 7 feet from hole? Like, why do I have to fucking go to the like it takes an act of God to figure out what the hell's going on in the golf course. But I digress. We're in for a big weekend, and guys, Harmon's not running away from it with this thing. It's going to be a fun, exciting event, especially 17, 18. Another thing with these matchups, yeah, they didn't show Brooks all day. Another thing with these matchups, a guy could have a 3-shot lead on 18 and win. A 3-shot lead on 18 and lose his matchup. Like doubles and triples are everywhere on 18 and 17. So I don't want, if we're winning a matchup or we're losing a matchup, I don't even want to hear about it until after that ball goes in the hole, because the matchups this week have been crazy. I've been tracking a lot of them. I bet a bunch of them today just for fun, like small money. And Cantlay and Brooks today, Brooks had a 3-shot lead against Cantlay on 18. And they're in the same group, and the bet pushed. So things can get crazy. And these matchups, I mean, they're never in the house, but this week especially, those things are not in the house until they're in the house. All right, but takeaway, go Henrik Stenson. You sexy, sexy Swede. Thanks for stopping in, boys. Let's have a good weekend.